Hey guys, I think about 6 of you maybe watched the first video, so thank you. That's pretty cool. Basically, conversation, and I heard from a couple of folks about their struggles. A lot of us have done the up and down kind of roller coaster, but first I just wanted to ask, how's everybody feeling? And I'm doing better, as you can tell. My voice is kind of loosed from the world of cold. I still have a little bit of problems with my ears popping, which is fun because we live out here in elevation, so there's a bit of that when I'm in the car. But basically, just wanted to give you a quick update on my weight loss. I think last video I had hit the big 200, and now I'm about 5 pounds down from that. So I've got 20 pounds to go. Yay! All right. And I hear they're really, really hard. So we might be here a long time. You never know. I haven't changed anything that I'm doing, but I did notice that it took a bit longer to get beyond the 200 point, which of course I was kind of waiting with bated breath to see, because who wouldn't want to see a 1 instead of a 2 or a 3? This girl wants to see it. So so again, I'm Lee, and this is Eating My Way Back, and my objective with this series of videos is to reach out to those of you who may have had similar struggles, or just want some kind of information, maybe even just a glimpse into what it's like for someone who needs to lose a certain amount of weight, but in a healthy way. I'm also vegan, so that's part of what I'll be talking about. I do believe that it is a very, very healthy, and of course a cruelty minimalized, nothing is cruelty free in this world, way to become healthy, to lose weight, to get sort of better control over what is in your food. And to me, those have been the best things about this whole process. I was vegan off and on for a lot of years, and I'll give you a bit more history today about my struggles. I was born into a family where we kind of had people on one extreme or the other. You were either really thin or you were very obese and overweight. And so those who were obese, overweight, really envied those who were thin, and those who were thin, some of them were kind of critical of those of us who were overweight or obese. And so it was a really caustic environment to grow up in regarding food, and we certainly had our share of people with eating disorders, anorexia, bulimia, overeating disorder, binge eating, which a lot of people don't realize is just as bad. And I was never really taught to have a healthy relationship with food. My mom was obese much of her life, and she was bulimic when she was sort of in her young 20s. And so she never really taught me to have a really healthy relationship with food. And because she didn't, I don't blame her. She had the tools that she had, and that's how it was. So I was taught to eat as a kid, until I couldn't hold any more food, and then as soon as you could hold more food, you would just put more food in. And we would oftentimes, basically eat seconds and thirds. There were never any leftovers unless it was a huge Thanksgiving or something like that, because we would finish the meals between the two of us. And then at night we would have a huge amount of ice cream sitting in front of the TV. Very sedentary life. We didn't exercise together or anything like that. I did sports, but I still was obese as a kid trying to do those sports. And so also as a result of some of this plus genetics, my mom had diabetes much of my childhood that she dealt with, that gradually got worse until she was on insulin, and she also had open heart surgery when she was 46 years old. So a lot of these things, are chasing me, going, do something now, because I've spent 20 years as an adult obese But before that, in between childhood and adulthood, I did develop eating disorders. I had anorexia. And it started with restricting my food like a lot of folks. But I was obese at the time, not a normal weight. I was overweight, obese. So a lot of anorexics begin by having a distorted body image. Well, mine wasn't distorted. What happened was I just lost control and couldn't trust food and trust myself, and with good reason. I had never been able to. So that was part of my story in that way. And so the worst thing that I could have imagined happened, and I got obese, slowly, gradually, after I stopped restricting my food and intake, and ended up basically more obese than I'd ever been. And so for 20 years, I've fought it off and on, never really getting into a healthy weight again. And I've also had metabolic disorders related to pelvic disorders. A lot of women go through this with polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it's chicken or the egg, in terms of, was it the anorexia, was it the obesity, what was it that caused the polycystic ovarian syndrome? I also have endometriosis. Body fat for women stores estrogen, and so estrogen, they call it unopposed estrogen, increases your risks for those types of things. And I certainly had adipose tissue, fat tissue, for that estrogen to store. But there's a triad that happens, and we can get into that some other time. But basically, I just got sicker and sicker and sicker as an adult. I couldn't get control of it, and with that former eating disordered mind, and this metabolic disorder that was making things really hard for me, plus a lifestyle that just still, I could never quite buy into the exercise. I was active, but I never could quite put it all together. I just never could get that battle going. I've been vegan off and on for the past 20 years as well, so it proves that vegans can be obese and overweight. It's not a miracle diet. I really dislike it when a lot of people act as if veganism is a weight loss plan. I'm vegan, and I believe in it, and it has given me those tools, but it's not that I'm going out and eating, spaghetti with tofu every day, and donuts that don't have dairy products. It's sensible. You have to be sensible with what you eat, and not too much processed foods or salt, and you really have to watch. I use applications on my phone and computer and iPad to plan meals, and I do that every day. And I'll talk about that later as well. Today is really sort of diving more into who I am, how I got to this point, and why I'm here. I'll show you a picture, and then I'll try to put some in the video for you as well, of who I was, what I looked like. This picture that I'm about to show you was on a trip with a friend here on the West Coast, and in the picture, as you'll see, I feel pretty confident. I had actually trimmed down a little bit, so this, mind you, it's obese, but this is one of my better weights over the last 20 years. So I'll just show it to you here. There we go. I'll get it closer. See if it'll focus for you. So that, there you go. That was me. I think that was in 2000, probably 2008 or 7. And I had trimmed down. Those jeans were jeans that I couldn't fit into, probably for a few years. Jeans at all have been a real challenge for me throughout the years, because with some of the cystic ovaries that I had some pressure on some lymph nodes down my legs, and also obviously when you're obese, your heart works really hard, and so fluid likes to pool in your legs. And so, as you can see, I'll show you a little bit of this again. This isn't really that bad, but my legs, I'll show you some photos as well. My legs pretty much swelled like that, no matter what weight or activity level I had, even into some of this, until my surgery in March. So huge issue for me. It was hard to carry all that around, and there I thought I was pretty fit, but I just wasn't putting the pieces together still. I was really overeating. I wasn't doing what the tried and true formula is, which is you have to track everything. You have to put that structure in there. And, whether it be looking at the calories in your food, planning meals, moderating your portions, and putting exercise in. Exercise is a huge piece of it, even if it's walking. That's what I do. I'll get into a lot of this process later because it's too long for one video, but in the beginning of this weight loss, from 315 pounds to where I am today, about 195, I started in the beginning basically just looking at the nutrition, the calories, and basically I started by eliminating most sugar and most of my favorite comfort foods. There's a lot of vegan cheese out there, and I was doing a lot of vegan cheese and pasta. I'm Italian, so I love pasta, and I was doing a whole package, so like a pound of pasta with an entire block of vegan cheese, and that would be a breakfast for me. I could do that 2 times a day. I would be eating 3 meals a day plus 2 very large snacks, and this was after my surgery, and I got some really poor lab results back for the first time, and in my life, and they were triglycerides elevated. They were my A1C, which is a blood sugar, glucose average, was elevated. So these are signs that I'm going into diabetes and heart disease, just like my mom. And I just wanted to tell you that I just recently, in the past couple of weeks, did some follow-up labs, and everything is in the normal range now. Yay! Yay! Yes! Because, I'm not getting any younger, and that's what it's all about. That is my big kick in the pants, the motivation this time, is that, I am nearing the age when my mom started to deal with insulin. She was injecting herself 2 times a day, and she was not exercising. She should have been, but she was not exercising, and she was looking at death at 55. And she didn't know it, of course, but, that whole cycle is genetically there for me anyhow, and plus I spent 20 years as an obese adult, so I have to get it together. And one of the things that's really kind of incredible that you don't know right now, but is happening right as you listen to this, is I am wearing a shirt that I was provided with in 1983. So I was 11 years old in 1983, so you can do the math, figure out how old I am. But this shirt, I don't know if you can see it here, but I'll stand up. So this shirt, whoop, you can see it here, is from when I was 11 years old. So here you go. So this is it here, and you can see the 1983, and yeah, there is my 34 size waist. Difference between that and this was, I believe, a 42, maybe. If I'm lucky, it was a 42, and they would be like loose, straight jeans from Levi's, which was the only thing I could get my legs into. And these jeans that I'm wearing are just a regular fit. So, I mean, going into the store, going off the rack, getting things, it's been hit or miss for me in my life, And so, and this is men's. I'm tall and not too effeminate of a person, so I wear men's clothing most of the time. So that's what the sizes are that I know. But I think that's about a 14 what I wear now. And this size here would have been probably 24, maybe 22. So yeah, today I'm feeling great. I hope you are too. I will do my best to get another video up before Christmas, because I would like to talk a little bit about my strategies for how to deal with the pressure of people, of holidays. The thing is, nobody forces you to eat and you get whatever weight you are that you're not healthy or happy with. But also, nobody can force you to eat when you're on a healthy plan either, and when you're being healthy. So part of it is we have to stop pleasing everyone, by doing what they think we should do. Do what you need and want to do, because everything you're going to do is going to be unique in the way that you approach being healthy. What I do doesn't work for you, and what you do doesn't work for me, but we can learn from each other and be strong. If somebody asks you to participate in something that is not to your plan, you have to learn how to say no. Part of the reason I think some of us, especially women, get into this position is that we want to please people, and food is a huge pleaser. It brings us all together. We're social, and yet look what we do. We carry it around with us for years, and sometimes into our graves. So be strong and be well. Please leave me a comment below. Let me know that you saw this. Let me know what you'd like to see. I've got lots of information. As you can see, I love to talk. So let's do it. Let's have a dialogue about it. And yeah, we'll see you next time.